Welcome to The Empowerment Hour, the podcast that explores how the simple act of putting pen to paper can revolutionize your mental health, relationships, and personal growth. I'm your host, Joss Blake, and today we're diving deep into one of the most accessible yet profoundly transformative practices available to us: journaling. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, journaling is just keeping a diary, let me stop you right there. What we're exploring today goes far beyond writing about what you had for lunch or complaining about your boss. We're talking about a scientifically backed, therapeutically proven method for processing emotions, achieving goals, strengthening relationships, and even overcoming serious addictions and trauma. Whether you're someone who's never written more than a grocery list, or you're a seasoned journal keeper looking to deepen your practice, today's episode will reveal how this ancient art can become your most powerful tool for personal transformation. We'll explore everything from using journaling as an alternative to traditional meditation to specific techniques for processing heartbreak, setting and achieving ambitious goals, and even strengthening your romantic relationships. The beauty of journaling lies in its simplicity and accessibility. You don't need expensive equipment, special training, or hours of free time. All you need is something to write with, something to write on, and the willingness to be honest with yourself. But as we'll discover today, this simple practice can unlock profound changes in every area of your life. If you enjoy learning about personal growth through such accessible tools, you might find yourself drawn to apps like Scoob, where thoughtful podcasts on well-being and creativity are just a tap away. Download the app from App Store or Play Store and begin your journey to becoming a better version of yourself. So grab your favorite notebook, settle in, and let's explore how the written word can become your pathway to a more intentional, emotionally intelligent, and fulfilling life. Let's start with a fundamental question. Why does journaling work? What is it about the act of writing that seems to have such a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being? The answer lies in how our brains process thoughts and emotions. When we experience complex emotions or face challenging situations, our minds often become overwhelmed with racing thoughts, conflicting feelings, and mental noise. It's like having dozens of browser tabs open in your mind simultaneously. Everything is running, but nothing is running efficiently. This is where journaling becomes your mental decluttering tool. The act of writing engages the logical aspects of your cognition, creating space for the creative and emotional facets to flourish more vibrantly. When you translate chaotic thoughts from your mind onto paper, something remarkable happens. You're essentially taking abstract, swirling emotions and giving them concrete form. This process, transforming the intangible into the tangible, triggers what many describe as an aha moment of clarity. Think of it like opening a bottle of soda and releasing its fizz. That moment when you finally understand your feelings because they're right there, staring back at you, undeniable and permanent. You can't argue with what you've written down, and you can't easily dismiss or minimize it the way you might with fleeting thoughts. Research has consistently demonstrated that journaling offers concrete, measurable benefits. Scientists have conducted experiments using groups of people who kept daily journals, comparing those who recorded things they were grateful for against those who noted moments when they felt hassled or annoyed. The results were striking. Individuals in the gratitude group consistently reported lower stress levels by the end of each day. In another study, college students burdened with racing thoughts and worries were advised to spend just 15 minutes each night listing things they were grateful for. This simple exercise in gratitude journaling notably reduced intrusive thoughts and improved sleep among participants. The implications are profound. Something as simple as writing for 15 minutes before bed can literally rewire your brain for better mental health. But the benefits extend far beyond stress reduction. Journaling serves as a therapeutic outlet that mitigates anxiety by offering clarity over fears and concerns. It becomes a peaceful sanctuary where emotions can flow freely and honest self-discovery can occur. This practice contributes to improved mental, emotional, and spiritual health, promoting mindfulness, the ability to observe minute details and accept life's moments more fully. The beautiful thing about journaling is that it signals to your mind that both your thoughts and feelings hold significance. Over time, This encourages a deeper, more relaxed exchange with your inner self. Journaling evolves from a writing exercise into a seamless practice for differentiating and articulating emotions effectively. Free writing, or stream of consciousness writing, becomes a particularly liberating conduit for processing thoughts and ideas that sometimes elude conscious deliberation. When you allow your hand to move across the page without censorship or judgment, you often access insights and realizations that your conscious mind has been struggling to reach. The physical act of writing by hand also engages different neural pathways than typing, creating a more intimate connection between your thoughts and their expression. This is why many journaling experts recommend handwriting over digital alternatives whenever possible. The slower pace and physical engagement create space for deeper reflection and processing. Understanding the science behind journaling helps us appreciate why this practice has endured across cultures and centuries. It's not just feel-good advice or new age thinking. It's a neurologically backed method for improving mental health, emotional regulation, and overall life satisfaction. Traditional meditation, where you sit quietly with closed eyes and focus on breath or mantras, is incredibly beneficial for many people. But let's be honest, it's not for everyone. If you've experimented with meditation for several weeks and haven't discovered its value, or if sitting in silence feels more like tedium than enlightenment, you're not alone, and you're not failing at mindfulness. The goal of meditation is to cultivate heightened awareness and mindfulness, to create moments of tranquility and reflection. But there are many paths to this destination, and journaling represents one of the most accessible and effective alternatives. When you engage in mindful journaling, you're achieving many of the same benefits as traditional meditation. You're tuning out external distractions, connecting with your inner self, and creating space for deeper awareness. The difference is that instead of observing your thoughts in silence, you're capturing them on paper, creating a tangible record of your inner world. Writing down thoughts by hand or on a distraction-free computer can silence mental noise just as effectively as meditation, allowing you to delve deeper into self-awareness. The act of expression through written words becomes meditative as it channels internal dialogue into a tangible form, enabling clarity and insight into your inner world. Like walking meditation, or kinhin in Buddhist traditions, journaling provides an active form of mindfulness practice. Just as walking meditation involves focusing attention on each footfall and the surrounding environment, journaling involves focusing attention on each thought and the surrounding emotional landscape. The key is approaching journaling with the same intentionality and presence that you would bring to any mindfulness practice. This means setting aside dedicated time, creating a peaceful environment, and approaching your writing with curiosity rather than judgment. You're not trying to solve problems or make decisions. You're simply observing and recording what's present in your consciousness. This form of contemplation and self-examination forms the foundation of effective journaling practice, nurturing essential skills such as reflection and introspection. Regular journaling practice develops your capacity for self-observation, emotional awareness, and present moment attention, all core components of mindfulness. The meditative quality of journaling becomes even more pronounced when you engage in specific techniques like stream of consciousness writing. Set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes and simply write whatever comes to mind without stopping to edit, censor, or organize your thoughts. This practice mirrors the non-judgmental awareness cultivated in meditation, teaching you to observe your mental activity without getting caught up in its content. For those who find traditional meditation challenging, journaling offers several advantages. It provides a concrete focus for attention, reducing the likelihood of mental wandering. It creates a sense of productivity and accomplishment that can motivate consistent practice, and it generates a record of insights and observations that you can revisit and learn from over time. You can also combine journaling with other meditative practices. Try writing after yoga or Tai Chi, when your body is relaxed and your mind is already in a contemplative state. Or practice mindful listening to instrumental music before journaling, using the music to center yourself before beginning to write. The goal isn't to replace traditional meditation entirely, but to recognize that mindfulness can be cultivated through many different practices. For some people, The active engagement of writing provides a more natural and sustainable path to inner awareness than sitting in silence. Whether you choose traditional meditation, mindful journaling, or a combination of practices, the key is consistency and intention. Regular engagement with any mindfulness practice, whether it involves writing or sitting quietly, creates the neural pathways that support greater self-awareness, emotional regulation, and overall well-being. When life hits you with its full force, heartbreak, loss, betrayal, or any of the countless ways that existence can knock you off balance, your first instinct might be to avoid the pain, distract yourself, or simply power through. But what if I told you that one of the most effective ways to process these difficult emotions is to grab a pen and dive directly into them? The practice of writing through emotional pain represents a form of alchemy, transforming the lead of suffering into the gold of wisdom and healing. When you find yourself engulfed in heartbreak and despair, using writing as an opportunity to unpack all the turmoil becomes incredibly powerful. Pour those feelings of anger, shame, loneliness, sadness, fury, betrayal, and misery onto the page, transforming them from chaotic thoughts in your mind to concrete words in a journal. This act of transference can trigger an internal realization that's both profound and liberating. We often create narratives that downplay the negative realities we've endured, masking them with excuses or minimizing their impact. However, when writing, you strip away the lies and see the cold, hard truth. You don't hide whatever was spiteful, hurtful, cruel, or demeaning. Facing these truths, no matter how unpleasant or humiliating, can be incredibly freeing and therapeutic. The beauty of journaling lies in its ability to provide a safe space for expressing anything you wish to convey. If you're hesitant about expressing your innermost thoughts to others, a journal offers a private outlet where you can explore them freely, capture the full range of emotions, whether happy, sad, disgusted, frustrated, or fearful, without second-guessing or censoring yourself. Allow your thoughts to flow unfiltered and simply write what emerges in your mind. Sometimes, the most challenging emotions need special handling. Consider designating your journal as a secure space for venting overwhelming emotions, anger, fears, or recurring thoughts. To ensure these sentiments don't eclipse your reflective endeavors, you might isolate these entries by securing them with paper clips or writing them on separate sheets to be burned afterward. This symbolic release enables freedom from those emotions without the risk of reopening them during moments of introspection. There's a crucial distinction between simply venting and therapeutic journaling. While venting can provide temporary relief, therapeutic journaling involves engaging with your emotions in a way that promotes understanding and growth. After writing about difficult experiences, take time to reflect on what you've learned and document these insights. As you delve into your thoughts and feelings, start posing questions to yourself that may lead to solutions. For example, if you're processing a difficult breakup, you might ask yourself, what patterns do I notice in my relationships? Or, what did this experience teach me about my own needs and boundaries? The subsequent step involves paying attention to the answers or thoughts that come to mind and jotting them down. Identify behaviors you desire to change based on insights gained from your writing. One particularly powerful technique involves personifying your challenges and engaging in dialogue with them. For instance, if you're dealing with infertility, envision it as an uninvited guest, a personified entity that has entered your life. Picture infertility as if it were an individual, emerging at a specific time and place, wearing distinctive attire. Craft a dialogue between yourself and infertility, akin to a scene in a play or novel, and include this dialogue in your journal. Assume both roles in your performance to personify both the voice of the challenge and your own response. Engaging in this exercise periodically offers insight into how your relationship with the difficulty evolves over time. It functions as a reflective tool, allowing you to assess what you're confronting and your feelings about it. This approach can be applied to any challenging situation: addiction, chronic illness, job loss, or family conflict. By externalizing the problem and engaging with it as a separate entity, you create psychological distance that allows for greater clarity and less emotional overwhelm. The therapeutic power of journaling extends beyond processing current difficulties to preventing the suppression of emotions. Consistent journaling offers a channel to express emotions before they become overwhelming, creating a pressure release valve for your emotional system. By articulating your emotions regularly, you might experience a sense of relief and lightening of emotional burdens that prevents small issues from becoming major crises. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate difficult emotions or to always feel better immediately after writing. Sometimes journaling helps us sit with difficult feelings more consciously and intentionally. The healing comes not from avoiding pain, but from moving through it with awareness and compassion for yourself. The journey toward achieving meaningful goals begins with something that might surprise you: the generation and capture of ideas. Most people underestimate how many brilliant insights they have daily, and more importantly, how many of these insights they lose simply because they don't write them down. Ideas can emerge at any moment, while you're enjoying a relaxing shower, tossing in bed at night, or commuting on the subway. Whether you're a teacher, doctor, parent, software developer, entrepreneur, sports coach, legislator, or artist, the inflow of ideas is a constant stream in your everyday life. The challenge isn't in conceiving these ideas, but in efficiently capturing and recording them. Often, brilliant ideas fade away simply because they aren't documented when they occur. This is where your first journaling tool becomes essential: the idea notebook. This should be a small, tangible book dedicated solely to jotting down every idea, from mundane to potentially revolutionary. Avoid the temptation to use a hefty journal or even a digital device like your phone. Instead, opt for something you can carry effortlessly and use exclusively for ideas. This notebook becomes a repository for what you might initially perceive as terrible, ridiculous, or even nonsensical thoughts, alongside the potentially transformative ideas. Over time, having an exclusive space for your thoughts cultivates a habit of idea generation, free from judgment or constraint. The magic happens when you realize that today's ridiculous idea might become tomorrow's breakthrough solution. But capturing ideas is just the beginning. The real power comes when you transition from casual idea collection to intentional goal setting through structured brainstorming sessions. Alex Osborne, in his seminal work, Applied Imagination, Principles and Procedures of Creative Problem Solving, introduced foundational rules that guide effective brainstorming, and these principles can transform your journaling practice. First, focus on quantity over quality. The objective is to generate as many ideas as possible, operating on the principle that sheer volume increases the odds of finding noteworthy concepts. Set yourself challenges. Create 20 goal ideas within 5 to 10 minutes. This encourages a flow of ideas without overthinking, helping you move beyond obvious choices to more creative possibilities. Second, withhold criticism during the initial brainstorming phase. This rule is equally vital when you're alone as when you're in a group. We often serve as our own harshest critics. When an idea appears flawed, don't immediately discard it. Write it down anyway. According to Osborne's principles, seemingly weak ideas can be refined into something exceptional. The essence of brainstorming is to suspend judgment and acknowledge every idea as a potential starting point. Third, welcome unusual ideas. Embrace unconventional thoughts and resist limiting yourself to traditional solutions. While some conventional ideas might be perfectly valid, often the most innovative breakthroughs stem from concepts that initially appear outlandish. These ideas, once refined, can become the foundation for groundbreaking achievements. Finally, combine and improve ideas. The most promising goals seldom present themselves fully formed. Successful goal setting involves a willingness to synthesize and enhance ideas, shaping adequate notions into excellent ones. Through the creative process of melding and refining concepts, you move from mediocrity to greatness. Beyond structured brainstorming, consider incorporating free writing into your goal-setting strategy. Free writing allows the mind to explore thoughts without restriction, leading to a more diverse list of goals. It's a fluid exercise that complements structured brainstorming, enabling an organic flow of concepts that might not emerge from deliberate efforts alone. Set aside time regularly, perhaps weekly or monthly, for dedicated goal-setting journaling sessions. Begin with free writing about your dreams, aspirations, and desired changes in different areas of your life. Don't worry about whether goals seem realistic or achievable at this stage. The purpose is to capture your authentic desires without the limiting filter of practicality. After free writing, move into structured brainstorming using Osborne's principles. Challenge yourself to generate multiple goals in each life area: career, relationships, health, personal growth, finances, and creativity. Remember, quantity over quality in this phase. Once you have a comprehensive list, you can begin the process of evaluation, prioritization, and action planning. But the foundation of all effective goal achievement lies in this initial capture phase, documenting your ideas and dreams before they disappear into the ether of forgotten thoughts. Your journal becomes not just a record of where you've been, but a blueprint for where you're going. And the simple act of writing down your goals makes you significantly more likely to achieve them. The very process of articulating your desires in written form engages your subconscious mind in working toward their realization. Both techniques, casual idea capture and intentional goal setting, collectively foster a comprehensive approach to personal and professional growth. Your journal becomes a dynamic tool that bridges the gap between dreaming and doing, between hoping and achieving. If I told you there was a simple practice that could reduce stress, improve sleep, boost your immune system, enhance your relationships, and increase your overall life satisfaction, and it only required 5 minutes a day, would you be interested? Well, that practice exists, and it's called gratitude journaling. Science backs this claim with substantial evidence. Gratitude has profound links to enhancing mental health, increasing self-awareness, improving relationships, and fostering a sense of contentment and fulfillment. But perhaps, most remarkably, gratitude creates measurable changes in your brain chemistry and physical health. When researchers conducted experiments using groups of people who kept daily journals, the results were striking. One group recorded things they were grateful for, while another group noted moments when they felt hassled or annoyed. Individuals in the gratitude group consistently reported lower stress levels by the end of each day. In a separate study, college students burdened with racing thoughts and worries were advised to spend 15 minutes each night listing things they were grateful for. This exercise notably reduced intrusive thoughts and improved sleep among participants. The mechanism behind these benefits involves fundamental changes in brain function. As UCLA neuroscientist Alex Korb explains, when we feel grateful, our brains release dopamine, the reward chemical that encourages us to repeat the experience. Embracing gratitude leads to a virtuous cycle as we continue to find more things to appreciate. Essentially, gratitude begets more gratitude. Gratitude impacts the mind by shifting focus away from negative thoughts. Our monkey mind often amplifies feelings of negativity, dwelling on problems, complaints, and disappointments. But gratitude activates what we might call the monk mind, a state that recognizes the kindness and efforts extended to us by others. This shift in attention literally rewires neural pathways, making positive thoughts more automatic and accessible. Gratitude uniquely enhances self-esteem. When we recognize others' generosity toward us, it suggests that we are worthy of that kindness and care. This recognition builds a foundation of self-worth based not on our achievements or possessions, but on our inherent value as human beings deserving of love and consideration. Research has consistently demonstrated that gratitude assists in overcoming trauma and difficult life circumstances. A notable study from 2006 found that Vietnam War veterans with high levels of gratitude experienced lower rates of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Whether you're recovering from a breakup, grieving a loved one, or dealing with significant emotional turmoil, gratitude proves beneficial in the healing process. The physical health benefits are equally impressive. Gratitude blocks toxic emotions that contribute to inflammation, which is a precursor to various chronic illnesses such as heart disease. Grateful individuals often report feeling healthier and engage in healthier activities. They're also more proactive about seeking medical care when needed. The extensive health benefits led Dr. P. Murali Doraiswamy, head of the Division of Biological Psychology at Duke University Medical Center, to assert that if gratitude could be made into a drug, it would likely become the best-selling product worldwide due to its comprehensive health benefits. So, how do you implement this powerful practice? Start by maintaining a gratitude journal, dedicating just 5 minutes each night to writing down things you're grateful for. To measure its impact, track your sleep duration for a week prior to starting your journal, then compare it to the following week once you begin journaling. Most people notice improvements within days. Begin by documenting 5 items daily that you're thankful for, ideally 1 to 2 hours before bedtime during the first week. This consistency helps establish a pattern and allows you to reflect upon the good in your life before sleep. After a week, you can reduce the frequency to 2 or 3 times per week, maintaining the practice without it becoming burdensome. The key is to capture everything that brings you joy, savoring simple pleasures like a peaceful night's sleep, enjoying delicious leftovers, or finding a misplaced item. Extend your gratitude list to cover people, pets, places, and other comforting aspects of life. Engage all your senses, relish your ability to see beautiful sights, enjoy the aroma of baking cookies, embrace loved ones, or savor the taste of your favorite foods. To enhance your gratitude practice, consider adding tangible mementos that spark joy, whether it's a movie ticket stub, a receipt from a paid-off bill, a lucky penny, or a cherished photograph. These physical reminders anchor your gratitude in concrete experiences and create visual cues for positive memories. One particularly powerful aspect of gratitude journaling is its ability to help overcome bitterness and pain. It's challenging to feel grateful and jealous simultaneously because gratitude demands presence. When you're focused on appreciating what you have, you're naturally less likely to compare yourself to others or dwell on what you lack. During difficult periods, when you're overwhelmed by sadness or loneliness, revisit these entries in your journal. The practice of gratitude not only compensates with bursts of joy and optimism, but also boosts energy and restores hope. Remaining grateful during recovery periods from setbacks becomes a crucial step toward healing and moving forward, helping you build resilience and fostering a more positive outlook on life. The Buddhist tradition captures this wisdom in the Sutta Pitaka, part of the Buddhist canon, which advises, "Monks, you should train yourselves thus. We will be grateful and thankful, and we will not overlook even the least favor done to us." This teaching encourages us to acknowledge and express gratitude regularly, becoming more mindful and living richer, more fulfilled lives. By integrating gratitude into your daily journaling practice, you're not just recording positive experiences. You're actively rewiring your brain for greater happiness, resilience, and overall well-being. If you enjoy learning about these kinds of transformative habits, you might find Scoob helpful, your AI podcast studio. It offers a variety of thoughtful dialogues that enrich your personal growth journey. Download now from App Store or Play Store for free. Remember, while general journaling provides tremendous benefits, certain life challenges require targeted and specialized approaches. So now, let's explore how targeted journaling techniques can address specific struggles, from improving relationships to overcoming addiction to processing fertility challenges. Starting with relationships, one of the most innovative strategies for tackling marital or partnership challenges is maintaining a dedicated relationship journal. Now you might think, who really has time to write in a journal? But consider this journal as if it were your personal research project, a graduate school assignment, or a document tracking the progress of an important life merger. The key insight here is strategic substitution. Instead of engaging in futile arguments with your partner, choose to write in your journal. Whenever you sense that a conversation is about to devolve into an unproductive dispute, excuse yourself, retreat to another room, and document your thoughts. The rationale is that these arguments rarely lead to resolution and can be replaced with something potentially more constructive. After years of relationship patterns, you likely have enough familiarity with disagreements to predict their duration. A disagreement over housework might last 10 minutes, one over finances around 20, and an emotionally charged confrontation could extend for 45 minutes or longer. When a conversation veers toward contentious territory, simply declare, "I don't have the bandwidth for this right now," and proceed to journal instead. The essence of relationship journaling lies in personal introspection and growth. The core philosophy is, I must enhance myself to better manage this relationship. I must improve myself to offer my partner solid support. I must grow for the sake of becoming a better version of myself. Hence, the journal centers primarily around you, your imperfections, your issues, and your immediate struggles. For structure, clearly articulate the purpose of your writing in a single, succinct sentence on the first page. Regularly revisit this purpose to ensure your focus remains consistent. Include various types of entries as dictated by your relationship's natural progression. Research pages after reading helpful books, issue pages following particularly heated arguments. This approach empowers you to organically document your journey, addressing challenges and celebrating progress in a structured yet flexible format. For those dealing with addiction, journaling becomes an indispensable tool for recovery. The practice serves as both a tracking mechanism for struggles and progress and a roadmap for relapse prevention. Contrary to common misconceptions, effective addiction journaling transcends merely recording daily events. It becomes a conduit for identifying challenges and devising new tactics to overcome them. Your addiction recovery journal should be a safe space for expressing anything you wish to convey. The usefulness is significantly diminished if you don't feel comfortable being truthful about your feelings. Embrace openness and honesty when articulating your emotions. Capture the full range of experiences, whether hopeful, discouraged, frustrated, or fearful, without second-guessing or censoring yourself. After completing daily entries, take time to reflect on what you've learned and document these insights. Start posing questions to yourself that may lead to solutions, such as, how can I mitigate my urge for destructive behaviors? Pay attention to the answers that come to mind and record them. Identify behaviors you want to change based on insights gained from your writing. Over time, revisit past entries to gauge your progress and record any achievements you observe. When dealing with fertility challenges, journaling can provide unique therapeutic benefits. One powerful technique involves personifying infertility and engaging in dialogue with it. Envision infertility as an uninvited guest, a personified entity that has entered your life. Picture it as if it were an individual, emerging at a specific time and place, wearing distinctive attire. Craft a dialogue between yourself and this challenge, assuming both roles to explore your complex relationship with this difficulty. Beyond these dialogue exercises, maintain an ongoing journal detailing daily experiences, focusing on emotional dynamics within your relationships and continuous emotions around fertility. Integrate this into your comprehensive mind-body routine. Documenting thoughts in this way may reduce the tendency to dwell on them, fostering an environment where you can also concentrate on and derive joy from other aspects of life. Employ various journaling approaches. Maintain a gratitude journal highlighting positive elements of your life amidst challenges. Engage in artistic expression through drawings, or craft poetry. Drawing facilitates a departure from linear thought processes, enabling creative synthesis of deeply rooted emotions. Artistic prowess isn't necessary. Use any tools to spontaneously create whatever emerges. Experimenting with your non-dominant hand can tap into brain regions typically inaccessible and emphasize that expression need not conform to artistic standards. Poetry writing within your journal focuses less on structure and more on allowing ideas to unfurl freely, venturing beyond rational mental processes to access concealed facets of your emotional self. If poetry feels daunting, explore simple formats like haiku to guide you. The objective isn't adherence to rules, but harnessing creativity to unburden emotions. For all specialized journaling approaches, strive to write something daily, even if it's brief. Your journal becomes a cherished companion throughout difficult journeys, providing continuity, insight, and a record of growth that you can reference during challenging moments. The power of specialized journaling lies in its ability to transform generic therapeutic writing into targeted healing tools. By adapting your approach to specific challenges, you create a personalized therapeutic intervention that addresses your unique circumstances and needs. While traditional written journaling provides incredible benefits, expanding into creative expression can unlock deeper levels of emotional processing and self-discovery. Sometimes words alone cannot capture the full complexity of our inner experience, and incorporating artistic elements creates pathways to understanding that purely verbal expression cannot reach. Drawing in your journal facilitates a departure from linear thought processes, enabling a creative synthesis of deeply rooted emotions. You don't need artistic prowess or formal training. This is about expression, not exhibition. Use markers, pens, chalk, or any chosen tools to spontaneously create whatever emerges from your emotional state. The goal is to bypass your analytical mind and access more intuitive forms of understanding. One particularly powerful technique involves experimenting with your non-dominant hand. Left-handed individuals drawing with their right hand, or vice versa, can tap into brain regions typically inaccessible through dominant hand usage. This approach emphasizes that artistic expression in journaling need not conform to aesthetic standards or artistic conventions. The awkwardness and unfamiliarity of using your non-dominant hand often break through mental barriers and allow unexpected insights to emerge. Colors can carry emotional significance that words sometimes cannot convey. When you're feeling overwhelmed, angry, or confused, let yourself choose colors intuitively and fill pages with abstract shapes, patterns, or simple drawings. Don't analyze or judge what emerges. Simply allow your emotional state to express itself through visual means. Poetry writing within your journal offers another avenue for accessing concealed facets of your emotional self. This practice focuses less on structure and more on allowing ideas to unfurl freely, venturing beyond rational, linear mental processes. If traditional poetry feels intimidating, consider exploring simple formats like haiku to guide your initial efforts. Remember, the objective isn't adherence to rules, but rather harnessing creativity to unburden emotions. Free verse poetry in your journal can be particularly liberating. Start with a feeling, memory, or situation, and let words flow without concern for rhythm, rhyme, or conventional poetic structure. This form of expression often captures emotional nuances that prose cannot reach, creating a bridge between conscious thought and subconscious understanding. Stream of consciousness writing represents another advanced technique for accessing deeper layers of awareness. Set a timer for 10, 15, or 20 minutes and write continuously without stopping to edit, organize, or censor your thoughts. Let your hand move across the page, following whatever emerges in your mind without judgment or direction. This technique, also known as free writing, becomes a liberating conduit for processing thoughts and ideas that sometimes elude conscious deliberation. When you silence your inner critic and allow unrestricted expression, you often discover insights, connections, and solutions that your analytical mind has been struggling to reach. For those drawn to spiritual practices, your journal can serve as what some traditions call a grimoire, a sacred repository for spiritual insights and magical workings. This approach transforms journaling from a psychological tool into a spiritual practice that documents your growth and connection with deeper aspects of existence. Creating entries in this type of journal becomes a fulfilling and enlightening practice, integral to nurturing both your spiritual journey and record of learning. The act of journaling frequently invites deep thought about your state, desires, dreams, and experiences, interpreting their interaction with the world around you. This form of contemplation and self-examination caters to spiritual growth, helping you nurture essential skills such as reflection and introspection. Everything inscribed in your spiritual journal carries energy, fostering a dynamic interchange that deepens your spiritual work. There exists a discernment between spiritual journaling and mundane journaling. While everyday journaling can be effective for daily reflection and planning, spiritual journaling transcends into realms beyond the physical, facilitating deep spiritual introspection and growth. Another advanced technique involves creating dialogue entries between different aspects of yourself. You might write conversations between your fearful self and your courageous self, your practical side and your dreamer, or your inner critic and your compassionate advocate. This technique helps you recognize and integrate different facets of your personality while developing greater self-understanding and acceptance. Mind mapping in your journal combines visual and verbal elements to explore complex topics, relationships, or decisions. Start with a central theme or question in the middle of your page, then branch out with related thoughts, feelings, and associations. This technique is particularly useful for processing complicated situations that involve multiple factors or perspectives. The key to all advanced journaling techniques is experimentation and playfulness. Try different approaches and notice which ones resonate with your natural style of expression and processing. Some people are naturally drawn to visual expression, others to poetry or stream of consciousness writing. The most effective journaling practice is one that feels authentic and engaging to you personally. Remember that these creative approaches can be combined with more traditional journaling methods. You might begin a session with stream of consciousness writing, then create a drawing that captures your emotional state, and conclude with a structured reflection on insights gained. The goal is to create a rich, multidimensional practice that honors the full spectrum of your human experience. Understanding the benefits and techniques of journaling is one thing. Creating a sustainable practice that actually transforms your life is another. The difference between journaling as an occasional activity and journaling as a life-changing habit lies in how you structure, maintain, and evolve your practice over time. Let's start with the practical foundation, choosing your tools and creating your environment. While the specific notebook or pen you use isn't crucial, having dedicated materials that you enjoy using makes a significant difference in motivation and consistency. Some people prefer small, portable notebooks they can carry anywhere. Others enjoy larger journals that provide space for creative expression. The key is choosing something that makes you want to write. Creating a conducive environment for journaling enhances both the quality and consistency of your practice. This might mean designating a specific chair, corner of your bedroom, or outdoor space as your journaling spot. Having a consistent location signals to your brain that it's time for reflection and introspection, making it easier to enter a contemplative state. Timing is perhaps the most critical factor in developing a sustainable practice. Many people try to journal whenever they feel inspired, but this approach often leads to inconsistent practice and eventual abandonment. Instead, choose a specific time that you can protect and maintain, regardless of your mood or motivation. Evening journaling, ideally 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, offers several advantages. Your day is complete, giving you material to reflect upon. Your mind is naturally winding down, making introspection feel more natural, and ending your day with gratitude or positive reflection can improve sleep quality and set a peaceful tone for the night. Morning journaling appeals to those who want to start their day with intention and clarity. Writing in the morning can help you process dreams, set daily intentions, or simply clear mental clutter before engaging with the day's demands. Some people find that morning journaling helps them feel more centered and purposeful throughout the day. The key is choosing a time that aligns with your natural rhythms and schedule, then protecting that time consistently. Start with just 5 minutes daily. This small commitment is much more valuable than longer, sporadic sessions that you can't maintain. Developing prompts and structure can help overcome the blank page syndrome that often derails new journalers. While free-form writing has its place, having go-to questions or frameworks ensures you always have something to write about. Consider rotating through different types of entries throughout the week: Mondays for goal setting, Wednesdays for relationship reflection, Fridays for gratitude, and weekends for creative expression. Some universal prompts that work for most people include: what am I feeling right now? And what might be causing these feelings? What went well today, and what could I learn from the challenges? What am I grateful for, and why do these things matter to me? What patterns do I notice in my thoughts, emotions, or behaviors? Handling resistance is crucial for long-term success. Every journaling fanatic experiences periods when writing feels forced, boring, or pointless. This resistance often indicates that you're approaching something important that your psyche wants to avoid. Instead of abandoning your practice during these times, consider shortening your sessions or trying different techniques. When traditional writing feels stale, switch to drawing, mind mapping, or poetry. When you feel like you have nothing to say, write about having nothing to say. When you're angry about having to journal, write about that anger. Often these resistant moments lead to breakthrough insights if you can work through them rather than around them. Reviewing and learning from your entries enhances the transformative power of journaling. Set aside time weekly or monthly to read through recent entries, looking for patterns, insights, and areas of growth. This review process helps you recognize progress that might not be apparent in daily life and identifies recurring themes that might need attention. As you review, ask yourself, what patterns do I notice in my emotional responses? How have my perspectives on certain situations evolved? What insights keep appearing that I might not be fully integrating? What goals or intentions do I keep mentioning but not acting upon? Evolving your practice prevents stagnation and maintains engagement over the years. What works for you in your 20s might need adjustment in your 40s. Periods of stress, major life changes, or new interests might call for different journaling approaches. Stay curious about new techniques and be willing to experiment with your practice. Consider seasonal adjustments to your journaling practice. Winter might call for more introspective, gratitude-focused writing, while summer might inspire more goal-oriented or adventure planning entries. Life transitions, new jobs, relationships, moves, or losses often benefit from specialized journaling approaches that help you process and integrate these changes. Remember that journaling is ultimately a practice of self-compassion and growth. There will be days when you miss your practice, weeks when you feel uninspired, and months when life feels too chaotic for reflection. These gaps don't represent failure. They represent the natural ebb and flow of a long-term practice. The goal isn't perfect consistency, but rather a gentle return to the practice whenever you're ready. Each time you pick up your pen after a break, you're strengthening your commitment to self-awareness and growth. Your journal will be there waiting for you, ready to receive whatever you're experiencing with acceptance and without judgment. Building a sustainable journaling practice is ultimately about building a sustainable relationship with yourself, one characterized by curiosity, compassion, and the courage to face both your shadows and your light with equal honesty and grace. As we near the end of our exploration, it's important to understand that journaling isn't just about what happens during those few minutes you spend writing. The real magic occurs in how this practice ripples out into every area of your life, creating changes that extend far beyond the pages of your journal. When you document your experiences, thoughts, and emotions regularly, you're essentially creating an external memory system that captures nuances and subtleties that might otherwise be lost. Although intense emotions foster a sense of permanence in the moment, those feelings and their associated memories can fade over time. Your journal preserves not just what happened, but how it felt to experience it, creating a rich repository of emotional intelligence that you can draw upon in future situations. This preserved wisdom becomes particularly valuable during recurring challenges. Instead of feeling like you're facing problems for the first time, you can reference how you've successfully navigated similar situations before. Your journal becomes a guide written by someone who knows you intimately, yourself, offering strategies and insights that are perfectly tailored to your unique personality and circumstances. The practice of regular self-reflection that journaling cultivates enhances your emotional intelligence in profound ways. As you become more skilled at identifying, articulating, and understanding your own emotions, you naturally become better at recognizing and responding to emotions in others. This enhanced emotional awareness improves all your relationships, from intimate partnerships to professional collaborations to casual social interactions. Many people discover that journaling makes them better listeners. When you're practiced at giving full attention to your own inner experience without judgment, you naturally extend this same quality of attention to others. The patience and curiosity you develop towards own emotional complexity translate into greater empathy and understanding in your interactions with others. The goal-setting and problem-solving skills you develop through journaling also enhance your effectiveness in achieving your aspirations. The process of articulating your desires, breaking down complex challenges, and tracking your progress creates a template for success that applies to all areas of life. Whether you're pursuing career advancement, health improvements, or creative projects, the clarity and intentionality you develop through writing serve you well. One of the most significant long-term benefits of journaling is the development of what psychologists call psychological flexibility, the ability to adapt your thinking and behavior to changing circumstances and personal values. Regular reflection helps you recognize when old patterns or beliefs no longer serve you, making it easier to embrace growth and change rather than resisting them. This flexibility becomes particularly valuable during major life transitions. Whether you're navigating career changes, relationship shifts, health challenges, or loss, your journaling practice provides a stable foundation for processing and integrating these experiences. You develop confidence in your ability to work through difficult emotions and situations because you have concrete evidence of your resilience and growth. The stress reduction benefits of journaling compound over time, creating a more robust stress management system. Instead of being overwhelmed by accumulated tensions and unprocessed emotions, you have a regular practice for emotional maintenance. This prevents the buildup of stress that can lead to physical health problems, relationship conflicts, and mental health challenges. Many long-term journalers report that their practice helps them live more authentically. Regular self-reflection clarifies your values, preferences, and authentic desires, making it easier to make decisions that align with who you really are rather than who you think you should be. This authenticity tends to attract relationships and opportunities that are more fulfilling because they're based on your genuine self rather than a projected image. The mindfulness that journaling cultivates extends into all your daily activities. The skill of paying attention to present moment experience without immediately judging or trying to change it enhances your ability to enjoy simple pleasures, notice beauty in ordinary moments, and remain grounded during challenging situations. For many people, journaling becomes a bridge to other beneficial practices. The self-awareness and inner stillness developed through writing often naturally leads to interest in meditation, yoga, therapy, or other growth-oriented activities. Your journal practice becomes a foundation that supports a broader commitment to personal development and well-being. Perhaps most importantly, consistent journaling develops what might be called self-intimacy, a comfortable, curious, and compassionate relationship with yourself. In a culture that often encourages us to focus externally on achievements, acquisitions, and other people's opinions, journaling provides a counterbalance that honors your inner experience as valuable and worthy of attention. This self-intimacy creates a stable foundation for all other relationships and endeavors. When you know yourself well and treat yourself with kindness, you're less likely to seek validation from others in unhealthy ways, more likely to set appropriate boundaries, and better able to offer genuine love and support to others. The ripple effects of journaling often extend beyond individual benefits to impact families, communities, and even professional environments. People who are more self-aware, emotionally intelligent, and authentically expressed tend to create positive changes wherever they go. Your commitment to personal growth through journaling contributes to a culture that values reflection, emotional honesty, and continuous learning. As you continue your journaling journey, remember that you're not just improving your own life. You're contributing to a world that desperately needs more self-aware, emotionally intelligent, and authentically expressed individuals. Your practice matters not just for you, but for everyone whose life you touch. As we reach the end of today's exploration, I hope you're feeling inspired to pick up a pen and begin or deepen your own journaling practice. We've journeyed together through the science behind why writing transforms us, explored specific techniques for different life challenges, and discovered how this simple practice can create profound changes that ripple through every area of your life. Remember, you don't need to be a gifted writer, have hours of free time, or wait for the perfect moment to begin. All you need is a willingness to be honest with yourself and a commitment to showing up regularly, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. The blank page isn't empty. It's full of possibility. Your story matters, your emotions are valid, and your growth is worth the time and attention that journaling provides. And remember, Scoob is here to feed your curiosity, be it exploring your personal growth, enhancing creativity, or being more self-aware. Scoob offers a variety of podcasts that gently guide listeners like you through similar journeys of self-discovery and mindfulness. With that said, thank you for joining me on the Empowerment Hour. Until next time, keep writing, keep growing, and keep honoring the beautiful complexity of your human experience.